Because why? Money's where it is. The showmanship is where it is. Because it was a community. It was a family. Not saying it wasn't competitive, but it was competitive, if that makes sense. That wasn't the real of having women compete against competing. It was showcasing women as a whole and showing what they can do by themselves. Do you allow us time to be great? Because that's where we are. So I think...
Welcome to the Trackfellaz podcast. I am your host, Herb Nichols, along with Daryl Young, and we have a very special guest today. And I'm actually going to let Daryl introduce what I still call our little sister over here. So go ahead, Daryl.
Yes. So again, welcome everybody to Trackfellaz podcast. We definitely do have a special. I don't even think we can consider her a guest. She's more like family. You know, she's like the freeloading cousin that comes over and don't contribute to the potluck. But no, at any rate, we do have a special guest on the pod today. She is a graduate of Baldwin High School in Long Island, New York, where she did once possess the record in cross country. Attended Towson University, also obviously the Morgan State University. Yep, where she was a graduate with her Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration, cum laude. Okay. Woo woo. MEAC pole vault medalist, also top 10 finisher in the MEAC cross country championship. 2015 New York Marathon competitor. She actually did finish. A lot of people do like run these marathons and do not finish, and she definitely put all out there on the line and finished. And also did the Brooklyn half marathon as well. She's also a USA Track and Field Certified Association level horizontal official. She's officiated at the USA National Youth Indoor and Outdoor Championships, also the Junior Olympics, Adidas High School Outdoor Nationals, Senior Games, and also right now she's pending to be officiating at the Melrose Games, and ultimately her goal, which I know she's going to get, is to officiate at the LA Olympics in 2028. Introducing to you guys out there, Shalèe Richardson. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And today, we actually have a lot to talk about, but this is our first female guest, so it's only right that we get right into the first subject, which is the Athlos Games. The Athlos Games is a event for our women athletes. I think they had the last one in New York, I believe.
Yes, it was at Randall's Island. It was at Icon Stadium.
So it was in New York. They actually have a couple events for next year, and they actually have a lot of athletes. Brittany Brown, Mackenzie Long, Tay Lou is there. She signed up. Who else? Zoe Hobbs. I mean, the list goes on. Messiah Russell.
I mean, we had Sawa E. Nasser. I mean, Paulino. I mean, they had
Paulino's there.
You know what I mean? Like you did say, Messiah Russell.
Everybody want to be down.
So what do you guys think of these games? I think it's a nice little take on like in a certain league or whatever. And then they do it right after the championships, which was kind of new. I don't think I've ever recalled like an event like that where you have names that actually come out and run after the championships. So, what do we think about these, this new kind of format that they got going on?
I'll let the females first, ladies first.
Well, I enjoyed it. It was only downside, it was cold because it was in October. But other than that, it was amazing. There was celebrities, music-wise. It was performances. It was a concert. It was a show. Like, it was a big hoopla, and it was a celebration of women and women athletics, women community. Like, it was that celebration. Like, even with the award ceremonies, like, they weren't done at the end. They were done after each event, and it was a big thing. Like, they played on crowns. Crowns were the medals. It wasn't even a medal around the neck. It was a crown. Each event had a different crown, like, because it didn't specify what the winning medal needed to be. So they made them crowns. And then the fact that they got paid once they crossed the line. Yeah. Instantaneously, they partnered with Cash App. So as soon as them women crossed the line, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, they got their money.
They said Brittany Brown won like $100,000 off that event because she actually doubled and won the 100 and the 200
because she won the one and the two.
$100,000 check.
Right, because the plays was 60,000, 25,000, 10,000, 8,000, 5,000, and 2,500. So everybody was getting their money, and they gave it to them as they crossed the line. Before they got to the interview to ask you how the race was, they had their bread on the Cash Apps for that, and also they gave more of the stories of the women.
Yeah.
And when you watch races, the first, you get about 5-10 seconds of each athlete in them at the starting line, and them that commentators hurry up and telling you what their accolades are, everything like that before they go. Each woman had a story. And I like that. Like I think the reason why people don't know track athletes and their background, everything is because the stories are not given. They need to give more of the stories. Like that needs to be given. Why would you even know anything about them? You just, they're fast. What about them? Like everybody needs a little story about it. And I think they displayed that. Again, it was just women, but they displayed that. And I think that made the whole event such a big thing. And then after that, it was a concert. Like after that, it wasn't like you just leave. Okay, when your event's over that you want to watch, you just leave. That's how track meets are. You're not staying to the end unless somebody's running a relay that you want to see or something like that. You're not staying to the whole thing. This, you're staying to the end. Sierra was performing. Like Serena was out there. Like it was lit. Like it was a good time. And that's what the game should be. Like when you go to different events, you get that at the end of the event, football, basketball, you get that team fighting. You don't get that at track meets because most of the time people are not staying to the end.
Right.
They're not staying to the end of the meet. The stands are not what they used to be, depending on the division and all those things. But for the most part, on regular day to day, people are not there to the end. So this was it made you stay to the end, like you were there, you were partying, and I mean the tickets were good money, like to pay for the tickets, and then 10% of all the event proceeds went back into the athletes. So even if they didn't win, they still got some money.
Right.
They still was out there, like so for that. Of all the leagues that are supporting athletes, like 100% was all for it. And I know it's going to just get bigger and bigger than what it is. Nobody wants to wait 2-3 weeks, 3 months for their check. It's my money and I want it now. Like, yeah.
And that's how we had just talked about the Grand Slam League. And that was like the main issue with the Grand Slam and how several athletes
did not
get their money. And again, there was a lot of sub issues that happened. It wasn't just the fact that they didn't get their money, but that was part of it or whatever. But I think you made a point there. I mean, I think if you make an event like that where people have to stay until the end, and not just that, you're telling stories about the athletes. The last episode we was on the podcast, we talked about how we believe that the athletes need to start selling themselves.
They do.
I think promotion needs to be pushed on these athletes. You can't just start running, even if you run fast. You can't just start running and assume that you're gonna blow up, right? There's only a few names in the world that when you say their name, it automatically comes in your head like, oh yeah, that's that. What's the first name that pops up? Sid, who else? Noah, right?
But I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not even a woman that will pop up first. It's a man. In any sport it is.
It's probably Noah Lyles because Noah's a guy who, he's controversial in what he says, but he also backs it up with fire performances, right? But, he has to kind of step out the box and be, a lot of people call him a clown and all that type of stuff. I think he's just being who he is, right? But at the end of the day, he performs.
Who he is. His interview with Cam Newton, he talked about the Grand Slam and he talked about why he didn't want to do it because he actually didn't want to have to market himself. That's a big thing. He didn't want to have to do that. But I think in the back end, if you are reaching out to these athletes that already have a name for themselves, the marketing is done by itself. So he should have capitalized, I think, on the Grand Slam because he already had a name for himself. And this was before he was at the Olympics. So you didn't have to do anything. You just had to show up. Like literally, you just had to say your name. He's just a little lazy. That's in my opinion, which is why I think he didn't do it. And it wasn't more of like a guaranteed. It was like, okay, well, you go outside, you got a box of chocolate bars. You sell all 50, you get your money.
Yes.
You only want to sell 50, then you get it.
I mean, I get it when it comes to Noah, his stance on on the Grand Slam and whatnot. I know we're talking about Athlos, but I do want to like speak on that a little bit. I mean, he's such a marquee name. He shouldn't have to market himself. He shouldn't have to do that. If you want me to be at your event, market me. You know what I mean? Put me on the banners. Give me a little piece of that money. A piece of the bread that comes in for the ticket sales and whatever revenue you guys get, and I'll show up. You know what I'm saying? Along with the prize money. If I can't get that, then sorry, I just can't show up. I can't do it.
And to go back to what we was talking about, I think in this sport, in track and field, I think they don't have a choice other than to do certain things that maybe they don't want to do. Right? Noah, Shalèe said, should have capitalized on that, and he is lazy when it comes to that type of stuff. I get where his head is, but at the end of the day, it's like track and field is going to be a sport, especially in the United States, that we're going to take a step back from all the other major sports. So we have to do twice as much what everybody else do to put our name out. And going back to Athlos, that was a great idea to tell everybody a story, to kind of get everybody to know the athletes. I wouldn't even thought about that. I didn't even think about actually trying to tell the story. That was an amazing idea.
So,
absolutely.
So to piggyback on, I guess what you just said and whatnot, Noah, he's one of the few that kind of has that option. He can just pick and choose like his moves and whatnot. Like if this big payday over there, but it's not looking right, say I'm no, like, no, I don't gotta do that because I'm gonna be okay, financially. But say for these individuals that competed at Athlos or whatnot, they may not really have that choice, because they're not as marquee as say like a Sydney or a Noah or specifically those two, because like in my head those are like the faces of track and field to me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So those folks don't have that option. So that's probably why they were running in 40, 50 degree weather in October. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get that bag. If I didn't have that, if I had that option to make that kind of money in 50 degree weather, and I wasn't a Noah Lyles or a Sidney McLaughlin or Brony, I'm doing it.
And the reality is that 90% of, it's probably over that. I'm just being modest with it, but over 90% of athletes who actually run for a living are making money. One of the biggest ways to make money in track is appearance fees. But before you can make appearance fee, you got to do what? Make a name for yourself.
Run. You got to make a name for yourself.
Yeah. So Noah can go to Europe. He can go to New York. He can go to Indianapolis and pretty much kind of put a price on his appearance. Everybody can't do that. I always mention the interview I had with Philip DeRosier. And the reason why I mention that is because, first of all, I think highly of him. And I think he was a very talented runner. But for someone to be that talented and every single day you're training, you're running and stuff, and you're not really making anything, so it's hard. So when these new leagues come up, like the Athlos and the Grand Slam League, low key athletes have been asking for stuff like this for decades. So now that it's here, soon they want to turn their backs on certain stuff soon as something goes wrong. So it's like the Grand Slam League. Okay, they didn't get their money right now. Cool. It's a scam. Well, guess what? You guys asked for stuff like this, but what you guys didn't do, I didn't see a single athlete on social media and market it. Like nobody did anything. So when you went to these track meets down in Atlanta and it was embarrassing what happened in Jamaica, nobody showed up. So like where were you guys at when you guys, prior to the track meet? You guys were nowhere to be found. And it's almost like y'all treated this like a normal track meet. Now this is your league.
Even if it was normal, people being in the stands, like JOs, it was oversold. Like people, the parents were jumping over the gates to see their kids. And that's a national meet. So it's like for it to be undersold and people not be in the stands, it's unacceptable. It wasn't talked about. It wasn't marketed at all. It wasn't. And people that were marketing were no non-name people that didn't matter, which is why it got nowhere. Like I took a deep dive on TikTok just to see about what the people were saying about the Grand Slam, and I think Russell had one video on like, oh yeah, Grand Slam is coming. Other than that, crickets. Now the publicity for Athlos in New York was mad. I don't know what it was like everywhere else. I'm in New York, so it was down my throat. Somebody that wasn't even in the track industry, it was down my throat. Like it was on billboards. It was everywhere. And granted, it was more publicized as the celebrities that were going to be there. Either way, they did what they had to do. it still made you want to think like, what is this? Like, what event is this? What's
The whole
Sierra
time,
performing at? Who else is performing at? The whole time, it's girls running. Didn't even know.
the whole time, there's somebody that's like, as myself, there's somebody that's still like in tune with the sport. I wasn't hip to Athlos until, and even though it happened, this is his second year running. I was scrolling on Instagram, and I'm like, boom. I'm scrolling, I see track and field. Anything track and field I see on my feed, it's gonna catch my eye. But I see it, I'm like, Athlos. And I turn into a nerd. I just start Googling it. I'm like, wow, a women's track meet? Like, I'm just looking at all the events, and they actually giving like bios and all that stuff. Like,
and it was lit. I mean, people in the stands were lit.
I've never seen anything like that before. And
people were coming from all over.
And then, like, speaking on Athlos, though, like, I watched this interview, a Good Morning America interview with Gabby Thomas. She was chopping up with Gayle King and her crew. And I didn't know, like, Athlos played the role that it did as far as, like, the pay moving forward for for track and field, for athletes, period. They had the largest prize purse ever, which actually increased the prize purse for other leagues, like Diamond League and
Diamond League for sure.
Pre-classic or, but the main one, like Diamond League for real. That's like in Grand Slam, we already know how that panned out and hopefully that continues, but it actually influenced the contributors to put more money into the Diamond League to like pay them more so that they can keep those star athletes going to the Diamond League instead of like jumping ship and like just, not competing over there anymore and satisfying those fans in Europe. And just staying here in the States and waiting for this Athlos bag and whatnot. I never really like thought about it like that.
And they're paying them instantly. Again, they're paying them instantly.
That's big.
$30,000 more and instantly. That matters. That's a huge thing.
And I think Athlos is only going to get better and bigger because when folks see that bag one, yes, it was running October and it was a little cold, but we didn't have like our A team out there. You know what I'm saying? I bet you next year, some A-listers are going to be out there. If not, I ain't going to say all of them. We're going to see some A-listers or some headliners or some marquee names out there, at the Athlos because they try to get that bag.
You don't have to have it at the same location. You can move it down south if you want.
They're gonna move it.
Or
they'll move it.
You can go to the Caribbean island. Athlos is just the name, is the league.
It's just the brand. It's just the brand.
It's the brand. So they can go anywhere they want. And to have the showing that they had in New York at this time shows how big it can get. And I think in the future, I think this can be something where I would like for it to be like on Prime TV. I think that the goal is to make it on television, where it's like, how everybody experienced it in real life. Hey, let's put it on TV. I want to see all this stuff on TV, and
not all of it. Some of it is. Like Melrose will be televised.
Yeah. Melrose.
I don't know. Some parts of it were, or it's like you have to pay for like a streaming, I think through like Athletic Net or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But, all the other track events usually on Peacock now. That's where they stream through. So
that's where most of the championships are.
Right. You can see it through there. But if you don't have access to like all networks or Fire Stick or some nonsense, you are missing 99% of the things that are there. Even unless it's big world championships, like the world championships just happened. So we saw what the schedule was for track and field. Other than that, you don't ever hear from nobody. You don't see it on social media unless you know and you're in it and you know what races are coming up and stuff like that. The marketing is trash across the board.
Oh, across the board. Like I was talking to a coworker literally yesterday. Coworker is little white guy from Iowa. And he knows I'm a track guy and whatnot because apparently all I talk about is track. And he was asking, just asking about track. And I'm trying to like give him the breakdown of like, literally everything, like what the heat is, what the Diamond League is and like the viewership in America. So somehow I went down a rabbit hole about viewership in America, like Europe, like Diamond League. And he had no idea other than like the Olympics that they were like track meets like throughout the year. He didn't know there were seasons. All he knew was just the Olympics. And I thought that was a damn shame that. And it wasn't his fault. It was just the fact that track and field is not talked about or like advertised or anything. And it's a heck of a sport. There's a lot of people that love track and field and would love to see it, but it's just not televised. It's not advertised. There's no one I'm not gonna say no one's backing it, but it should be talked about and advertised and televised a lot more than it is than just the Olympics. And I think that's sad. And I don't think I'm just being biased. I think that's just terrible.
No, I mean, you're right. I mean, again, it all ties to what we've been talking about marketing the sport. I mean, there has to be a way where, especially the USTF, has to be able to do a better job at marketing their athletes. If we go back to the years where Xavier Carter was running. Yeah, got one of his photos in the background. Xavier Carter should have been marketed to the point where he was looked upon as a superhero, right? They called him X-Man, right?
X-Man, call it the X.
He wore the shades all the time. He was, he was a
got
fit
the beast
guy.
in you. The girls, all that. Yeah, they should have capitalized.
They should have put the money behind this guy and pushed him. I mean, they should have pushed people like that. Like, you got to be able to say, you know what? Let's invest our money into the athlete who is in, even if it's just a fad, right? That would have pushed everybody like the X-Man. You know, Xavier was going out there. He was running 19.6 and he was the NCAA champion in the 100 and the 400. This man was exactly who y'all wanted, so I think when it comes to marketing, we are just assuming that the performance alone is going to push these athletes. That's not the case. Like, we have to add stuff. We have to get on social media, right? We have to put ads out on television. We have to be able to do stuff. And I think the Athlos got it right, because now it's like, oh, you know what? Mackenzie Long, she came from such and such and she does this, she does that, whatever. Like, and I know that because I watched the Athlos join and her story came out.
Yep.
And we're a sport where we don't wear helmets and stuff. So they can actually see our face. So when people see us,
they can see us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when people see us, they should know. Like, everybody knows.
They should know who you are.
Yes, they know Sydney. They know Michael Johnson. Like, they know these people, whatever, right? So, like, people should be able to recognize track and field athletes, especially Team USA members, when they're walking down the street. That's not the case right now. And that's just, again, bad marketing, so.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. USATF is crumbling, like, terribly. For instance, this past season with the youth, because that's where I'm at right now. JOs was at the end of August. There was no location for JOs until the beginning of August.
How does that work?
Exactly my point. I mean, no one knew where it was going to be because every place they put into bid, they said no. I was at JOs, Texas A&M, 2024. 2025 was at Savannah State. It was a shit show. Not that it was a shit show at Texas A&M, but the fact that it was so bad at Texas A&M, no other college, big college or university wanted to take them. Like, you gotta, like, youth athletics is different than collegiate and professional. Like, a lot of those things come with it. Also, the host agencies or host universities, they have to take a lot of those calls. Nobody wants to do that because why? Now, y'all don't have anywhere to go a month before. The stands are empty. There goes that marketing. Because now, where did most of the athletes go this year? AAU, Junior Olympics. They didn't go to USATF.
Yeah, my track club, Glenarm Track Club. Yep. Shout out to Glenarm Track Club.
Because up until the 99th hour, there was no place for USATF. And this is as an official. They telling us, wait, we need you to work, but you have no idea where I'm working.
Yeah, so that makes sense because I've been wondering why my former track club, Glenarm Track Club, has been going AAU the past maybe 4 or 5 years.
This was the first year that, again, like I said, up until 3 weeks before it was supposed to compete, the date, they didn't have a location. The last week of July, they sent out an email. We're still waiting. Don't register somewhere else. Like, we're going to have a location next week.
That's crazy.
Then it came out with Savannah State. Who wants to go there? That's not convenient. It's not close to any airports. Now you got people trying to scramble in the 99th hour, trying to get hotels, flights. Then you want to know why nobody showed up to the meet.
Yes. That's crazy.
Well, something has to change. I don't know who's making the decisions here, but it's like, I just feel like it's obvious. The low turnouts at some of these track meets. I mean, of course, people gonna come to USA's, right? USA outdoors, there's a lot of people, because people love going to the Oregon Stadium and stuff, whatever. I mean, what about these other track meets? There is hundreds of other track meets that people don't go to. And I think we have to just start building and investing in athletes. Let's start with the younger athletes. Quincy Wilson. Mm-hmm. The money needs to be behind that guy. Get him while he's young, put the money behind him, support this guy. And as he's going through each level, we're going to support him and make sure that every single person in the United States of America knows Quincy. Because once we kind of secure who we are here in the United States, it'll go global, whatever. But, Europe, they treat athletics a lot different than what we do. Right. But, here it's like, hey, football, basketball, soccer, hockey, whatever. And then track and field is next, whatever. But, we just gotta be able to treat these athletes and treat them like they're actually professional athletes.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever they're doing in Europe, need to take a page out of their book. You know what I'm saying? Because
support. That's what it is.
Yeah, bro, they pack those stadiums out. I'm talking to my coworker about. I said the exact same thing. They're packing those stadiums out week after week after week for Diamond League track meets, like it's the freaking Olympics or World Championships. If a novice, track and field fan or a viewer, not even a fan, but a viewer, were to look at a Diamond League track meet, they would have swore to the freaking Olympics. But we can't get that. Like we can't get that. We can't get that week after week after week over here in the States. Why? I don't know. Whatever they're doing over there across the pond, we need to figure that out.
They got money.
Money. That's all it is. It's like if you go to university. So, we all went to Morgan State University at some time. Mm-hmm. Where did all the money go to?
Football.
The football team. Right. And then right after that, the basketball team. And I know during my time, especially my senior year back in 2007, we had a better track team than the basketball team and the football team.
We finished,
I hate to see how we finished, but we finished fourth overall in the outdoor championships. Morgan's football team was probably at the bottom two portion. The basketball team, they were decent, but we were pretty successful when it comes to that, and we did that with no field events, right? But nobody. Yeah. We didn't have the money to support us. At the Legacy Track Meet, just look at the Legacy Track Meet, which is the home track meet for Morgan State University. You look at the Legacy Track Meet, you look at the stands, you have a few people and stuff like that. And I will say this, but before I go any further, Morgan State's football team in 2007 absolutely supported us that year. I will say that. They came out and actually they even had a 4x1 team that they threw out there. I don't know if you guys remember that, but the football team back in 2007 put a 4x1 team together, and they went out there and they actually beat our B team. They beat our 4x1 B team. I would never forget that. But those guys were out in the stands. They were cheering. I remember going out there, and all I heard was those guys. So I will give them credit, and I will never forget what they did at the track meet. But overall, nobody shows up to those track meets. But you go to a average football game, those ticket sales are going to go through the roofs because everybody goes there. And that's what we're seeing overall in the USTF. I mean, nobody's really like supporting us as a whole track meet to track meet. It's very selective, and then you go to Penn Relays, right? Penn Relays is packed all the time. I go every year, but again, all those track meets in between.
Hoping to work this year.
Hey, I hope you're down there. You'll definitely see me because I don't miss pins at all.
Okay.
He's not lying. He does not.
I'll let you know.
I went there and I missed it. That's a whole nother story for another day. But yeah, anyway, sorry.
Yeah. We'll share that story later. But going back to Athlos real quick, last couple questions about that. Shalèe, do you think this is sustainable for the future as far as like this format? And how do you think do you think it really benefits like females, right? Like women in track and field, like as a whole?
I think it definitely benefits women because I think even with the performers that came out were women performers. So I think it showcased us in a light that we're not usually seeing. Again, when you usually ask people who the top performer is in a sport, they're going to give you the male before they give you the female person. So I think this shines a light that...
Not me. I said Sydney.
You did say Sid. You did say Sid.
I said Sydney.
Right. But for the most part, aside from a Sydney, how many other women name runners do you know? I think that might have been an issue with the whole World Athletics Athlete of the Year too. But I just think it's a beneficial for us. Do I think it will always only be women? No. I think it will have to open up to everyone. It have to be more inclusive. I think because everybody's going to want to be down. Because why? The money's where it is. The showmanship is where it is. Because it was a community. It was a family. Not saying it wasn't it wasn't competitive, but it was competitive, if that makes sense. That wasn't the real of having women compete against competing. It was showcasing women as a whole and showing what they can do by themselves. Do you allow us time to be great? Because that's where we are. So I think for a while it will still to be women. I think when it first started again, it was like a selection process. Now all the women gonna want to be down. All the women gonna want to do it. And I think eventually they will have to open it up. Maybe it'll be Athlos 2.0 to be inclusive of men and para and everybody else. But I think right now, this is going to be where it's at. And I think the women are going to want to perform to their best to want to be here. So I think women athletics in track and field is going to maybe supersede the men because y'all don't have such a bigger league to get the money. Not saying people don't want to run, but the payoff, like, they're paying double the top pay of Diamond League. Why would you not want to make sure that you're running your best at these leagues? Like, so I think women are going to start making more money and they're going to start running faster and doing more things. And I think the other leagues once Michael Johnson gets some better sponsors for Grand Slam, I think that'll be the league that the athletes really want because it gets them the money they need and the exposure that they want. But right now, I think Athlos is going to be it, and everybody trying to be down for sure.
I agree, 100%. 100%, I agree.
I got an opposite take. Who's the face of track and field, or who's the face of this sport? Blah blah blah. They named the male. Like, no, let's leave this one limited to the women, so we can see what they are capable of doing, what they are accomplishing, and just showcase their talent. You know what I mean? Leave that limited to them. Let that be their thing.
Break that.
And another thing about Athlos, as much as I don't like New York, sorry, Shalèe, I like the location. I love the location. No, I mean, I like the location.
You love the location of what? Icon Stadium? Or are you talking about New York?
No, just New York, period. When you think of New York, it's New York. It's the bright lights, the big city. And it's attractive to a lot of people worldwide. When you see New York, it rings bells. And the fact that they had the long jump, was that Times Square?
Yeah.
That was dope.
Yeah, that was fire.
That was dope.
That was fire.
Yes, that was pretty cool.
I don't think you pull that off anywhere else in the world. Maybe like a Paris or something like that. But like, you can't do that in Orlando. You can't do that in Miami.
I would
you
agree.
Can't do that in LA. You know what I'm saying? No, Times Square was a perfect place for a freaking long jump. Runway and pit to be put.
Because there's no reason why they couldn't do it at Icon. They have a long jump pit there. It's there. There's at the stadium. There's equipped. There's multiple pits there. But it was amazing. It was the showmanship. That's the marketing. That's what it is. Like, they were right under their billboard, like in Times Square. Like, come on.
Yeah. So I think they should leave it right there, Icon, and continue to do the that field event right there in Times Square. I'm with that.
I think they might have to open it up to more than one field event though, because if you're going to keep it as just women, there are women in field events that are getting busy. And if we're going to just display women, then we need to display all the events that women are in.
Yeah. Got to
pole vaulter, she's the truth. I mean, we know the long jumper, but that pole vaulter, she's the truth. The throwers, that discus thrower she should have got.
You talking about Valerie?
Yeah, she should have been in the rankings for
About to get into that in a second, but because that was kind of crazy to me,
Yeah, let's go there.
Well, look, we'll just fast forward and go straight to the World Athletic Athletes of the Year. But the biggest topic was the Women's Athletes of the Year finalists. So what they do is they select 2 finalists for the year, and those are the finalists for Athletes of the Year. And every single person that I've seen online is talking about why Melissa is not on that list. And I agree with them 100%.
She should have been on there. Yeah,
I agree with 100%. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the metrics is. I'm not sure who decides everything or what the mathematics is when it comes to selections, but it
let's
seems kind of odd. So the finalist was obviously Sydney McLaughlin and Femke Bowl. And I know for me, I was going to let you guys go first, whatever, but I just had to say my piece first. For me, respectfully, Sydney cancels Femke out off the break.
Correct.
Right?
100%. 100%.
And
correct.
My reasoning is for this, right? Now, Femke is one of the fastest to ever do it, right? Her legacy is already stamped. You can't take away anything she's done. She is one of the fastest women to ever be on this earth. And her range is out of this world as far as what she can do. You know, everything from...
She's about to start running the 8.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, range is crazy. And she's going to be successful in the 800. I promise you.
She will be.
When it comes to giving a person athlete of the year status, you have to pay attention to what somebody else is doing. Now, let's be honest. Femke is, what is she, the second fastest ever in the 400-meter hurdles? Mm-hmm. Who can she not beat? Me, right? And she won, Femke Bowl won this year in the 400-meter hurdles, right? Because of what?
Because Sydney didn't run.
You know, again, respectfully, I think anybody who follows the sport knows that if Sydney runs the 400-meter hurdles, she's going to win.
And Femke Bowl is not.
She ain't got no space for it.
Unless Sydney gets hurt, unless she falls over the hurdles or doesn't show up or false starts,
doesn't run.
Or doesn't run, she's going to win the hurdles, right? So how are we going to give an award to somebody that, and I don't want to downplay her title because she won that title fair and square, but the person that she battles against every single year and that is better than her was not in that race. In fact, Sydney decided to go to another race and she made history in that race. So, you know, and we probably was going to see another world record from Sydney in the 400-meter hurdles. So I can't give an award to a woman that got a title because another woman wasn't in the race. And I'm probably going to get a whole bunch of hate for that. But to me, it's reality. Reality is that Fem is as good as Femke is. She is nowhere close to Sydney in the 400-meter hurdles. So then we fast forward and look at what Melissa did. How are we going to deny this woman a
She was undefeated all year in the 1 and the 2.
Yeah, she lost. She actually lost one time. I think it was in 200-meter dash. But that's not even her strong suit. But I mean, she came back and she won worlds. I mean, what she did this year, arguably, is the best season that you've ever seen from a woman sprinter.
It was amazing.
Yeah. By far.
How does that woman not be a finalist for Athlete of the Year? How?
Makes absolutely no sense.
No.
That Melissa was not a finalist. The fact that it was Sydney and Femke. Again, no disrespect to either one of them, because Sydney's that's my dog. That's my girl. Like, I feel like I know her. So I would expect Sydney to be to Femke. On the other hand, no. And again,
it's like a watered down version of Sydney.
Like,
and it's weird.
There's no disrespect to Femke at all. But Melissa should have definitely been there, and it should have been that should have been the topic of discussion. Melissa.
I hate having this conversation because it makes it seem like people are like we're throwing hate at Femke Bowl, and that's not the case.
No, we're not. That's why
he's a legend in the sport. He's always going. Like I stated before, her legacy is cemented in this game. But it's okay to be second to somebody, and she will always
can't be second to the best winner in the same space. Like, one got to be over the other. They can't be in the same space. She's the best loser to Sid. That's what she is. She's the fastest loser compared to Sid. That's what she is. I mean, and how y'all have the same, even if you look at just their events are the same. How do you have the same events? Let's just say, air quotes, with the same athlete and they're both the same. No, like, it should have been a long and a short if you really want to do it that way. I don't know what the logistics in making the decision is, but I don't think, and just looking at the background on both of them, what they run, how can you have the winner and then the best loser in the it's not, you gotta have another best winner and somebody else, another best winner. Because there's another second loser.
Now, if it actually came down to like the right two finalists or whatnot, being Sydney and Melissa. I think we all agree that it should have been Sydney and Melissa, the two finalists for, sprint.
I would have been okay with that. I would have been okay with that.
If it came down to the two of them, I would have wanted to be biased and say Sydney should have won it because that 47-8, 47-7 was it?
47-78.
Yeah, that
she wins it.
Yeah.
Sydney wins it. I mean, I'm just Sydney wins it.
I think Melissa should still win it, but Sydney, she got it. She got it. That 47.7. That's hella impressive. Hella impressive.
See,
like Shalèe, you know how hard that is for a female to do. Run 47.7 in the 400 meters.
Clearly, because only 3 women in history has ever done it.
Only 3 in the world have done it, and the blink of an eye have done it.
Like, we literally almost saw a world record get broken. You know what I mean?
But wait, if we're talking about all the women that were in the running, then we got to go to the distance runner. If we're talking about records, she was chasing the 4-minute mile. I'm just saying, under a 4-minute mile.
What did she go like?
It doesn't matter. If we're talking about records here, almost saw 40. Almost saw Sydney. We almost saw a woman run under a 4-minute mile. So I'm just saying, if we're going to talk about her, we got to talk about her.
We got to talk about Faith, right?
We got to talk about Kipper. Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely. If we're going to talk about Sid's record, we got to talk. So I don't know if I would have been okay with it being Melissa and Sid if we're going to go the way you're trying to go. If that's the case, I wouldn't have been okay with Melissa and Sid. I would have been more case with Faith and Sid. Only because, has it ever been done? I'm just saying.
I mean,
and she kissed it. It was breath. It was a breath. It was seconds. Come on.
I can respect that take. No, and I think at the end of the day is like, if all 3 of us had a vote and I had Sydney and Melissa and you had Sydney and Faith, I don't think that any of us would argue over that. I mean, again, Femke, she's had a solid season. I can't deny the season that she's had. But again, the other person that's in it, like, that's the person that you need to beat.
Yeah.
She should have ran the 400 meter hurdles. If she would have ran the 400 meter hurdles in Femke's race and beat her, she absolutely belongs there. But, you wanted kind of off a default, I'm not hating, but you kind of went off a default.
And I saw a post, one of those mini posts on Instagram and whatnot with the picture of the 2 finalists, Sid and Femke. And my comment was like literally sucked my teeth when I saw it. It was like, yeah, another easy win for Sid. Like, because it would not have been easy if it was her and, in my opinion, Melissa. Like, and to Shalèe's point, it might not have been an easy one between Sid and Faith. That's another one you want to throw in there too, because she did something that we may not ever see again unless it's her.
We might not never see
it. But for those 2 to be the 2 contenders, I think that's BS.
Yeah, she definitely got snubbed. I mean,
yeah,
I'm almost thinking that it should be maybe top 3, and allow 3 individuals on there instead of just 2, because years like this, you're gonna have debates every year, and nobody's right when it comes to stuff like this, because so many athletes have had amazing seasons.
No, I'm not to disagree with you on that, and I don't do this often. Let's compare Melissa and Femke's seasons and whatnot. Like, who had the better season, Femke or Melissa?
Melissa.
I would say Melissa.
She lost less. Even if you wanted to say, she lost less.
What are we talking about here?
She lost less. If you just going off based on that, she lost less. Melissa lost less. So why would she not be in second place? Or even if it was a comparison thing, let's just say. But how do you take 2 athletes from the same events and say that they the best in the sport of the athlete?
And I hear you, but my thing is, like, Femke, I don't think she lost that much this season, if not at all. Maybe in the beginning of her outdoor season.
She didn't lose because Sid wasn't running.
No, my thing is, the point I'm trying to arrive to is that she wasn't performing like Melissa was performing. I'm saying she wasn't running those type times in her event, which was the 400 hurdles. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't, damn near breaking, on world record watch.
Yeah.
Every time we watched Femke roll. Yeah, I'll say that. Whenever we watched Femke run, it wasn't world record watch. But Melissa, on the other hand, man, she
pushing to the limit every time.
Man,
she definitely should. I mean, I think also World Athletics League, they're a little different. I've met the president of the World Athletic League. I've met a few people that work,
well,
indirect. Well, no, they were at World Indoor Nationals because remember, Indoor Nationals was held the same place that World Athletics was held at. So they came to scope before last year in Gainesville, Florida. That's the same where Worlds was at for indoor last year. So they were there early, scoping out, seeing how the debacle that the Masters and USATF was going to be, so that they didn't repeat the same thing. Just to be honest. But in talking to them, it's the same. It's all politics. It's about a name. It's about money, who brings it in. It's about how you look on the screen, how dark you are, how light you are. All those things matter. Like, they really do. Like, they really do.
Yeah.
And those two women look better on a yellow background than any other combination of women look.
Hey, all right.
I'm not gonna disagree. I'm not gonna disagree at all.
Just jumped into deep water, huh? Okay.
I mean, but it's the name. It's what it is. It's all, we know those names. Those names are easier to say.
I was looking at the list just now, and there was another video that came out about the field. Who was the nominees for the? Nicole, what was that? The high jump champion,
discus.
the world high jump champion, and Tara Woodhall.
Shit.
People are talking about that, and they're saying that
the discus woman wasn't in there.
No, it was Tara, and I can't even pronounce her name.
Did y'all
She's from
see
Australia.
her record? Her sheet this year, her resume?
So she absolutely should be there. But what's Valerie's last name?
I don't even know, but she's the truth. What?
She's almost unbeatable.
That's what I'm like.
She's almost unbeatable,
and she just makes it look so easy. Like, wow.
But I will say, going back to what we was talking about marketing, Tara is always on social media.
She outside.
Yep. Right? Yeah.
Tara's in the street.
Yeah.
She's in the streets. Okay.
She's out, and then she's going to go to the track meet. She's going to get everybody involved, right? She's going to wear her cowboy hat, and she's going to wear the boots.
Her boots?
The boots. Wear the cowboy boots.
So she's doing what some athletes aren't doing. She's marketing herself, and then what she's doing is, she got, I think they're married now, right?
They've been married.
Okay. They've been married like a couple years, right?
No, they've been married for a little while.
Nah, ain't no way.
Yes, they were dating for a longer time, but they've been married for a little while.
I mean, I know they've been married. They've been married since Paris, at least.
It's Hunter Woodhall, right?
Yeah, they've been married for a good at least 4 to 5 years. Let's Google it.
Yeah. Get your Google machine and fact check that one. But at least since Paris.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. But I mean, she's a grade A marketer. I mean, everybody knows her now. And she is backing it up. I mean, she wins when it counts. She jumps far. She does everything that she's supposed to do.
They got married in 2022.
Okay, you're right. So what? I didn't know it was that long. That's all I'm saying.
It's been a little while.
Sheesh.
I think once they finally hit
it's been a long time.
Household, they were already a married couple.
Yeah.
So I think we've only ever seen them. We've probably seen them before that, obviously, but I think the world has only seen them as a couple. Like, they've not seen them separate, dating.
Okay, so they're married. Got it.
You know who doesn't get
hater?
You know who doesn't get his flowers? That I talk to Adam about it all the time. But Ryan Crouser. Ryan Crouser is the shot putter for USA. He's the world record holder. When you look at the list, he has 8 of the top 10 farthest throws in the world. He is almost unbeatable as well. And nobody ever talks about this guy.
He has the record for sure.
Nobody talks about this man.
And do you see how I just look when you mentioned his name? I just huh?
He's the big shopper guy.
Nobody talks about
who the guy is.
Nobody talks about Ryan Crouser. Yes, he's the world record holder in the shot put.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
And then this year he goes to world championships.
He's young, he's 32, he's young, he's super young.
He competed once or twice this year before Worlds and goes out there and beats these guys. The same group of men who has been training all year. He goes out there, beats those guys, comes back home with the trophy. Nobody talks about this man. Mm-hmm. And again, this is starting to be a consistent thing now where it's okay, USTF or whoever the governing body is, why aren't we supporting these guys? Why aren't we pushing the agenda of Ryan Crouser, the greatest thrower on earth?
Right.
If he goes to an NBA game, right, and he sits on front court, the cameras are going to pan right past this guy.
Well, it's like what you just said. They gotta talk about themselves. Tara, every time you look at Tara, she's Spider-Woman of the field.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she says. So if you say nothing, then you become nothing.
Yeah.
We're in the age of social media. You got to get the gift of gab. Like, you have to talk. You don't even have to talk. You just have to be seen. If you're not seen, then you're forgotten. Out of sight, out of mind. So with him, just off what you just said about Tara, he could do the same thing. He could be out there. I'm the best thrower. Boom. He could post a video once a day. It's on timing now. Instagram lets you program your video. You don't even have to post it. You could post 3 things for the whole week, but you gotta want to do that.
After hearing both of y'all takes, I think it all depends on the person. Like you said, Tara Woodhull, she's marketable as all get out. Sydney, duh. Let's think about like some males. Fred Curley, how long was he like dominant in the 100? World champion? You know what I mean? What Gatorade commercial have you seen him on? You know what I'm saying? What Nike commercial have you seen him on?
That's because he couldn't stay out of trouble. You see what I'm saying? They gotta be good across the board.
Fred ain't got it all up here either.
He couldn't stay out of trouble.
Okay. So this is the point. This is the point I'm trying to ride to. I'm just using one person as an example. Him being Fred Curley. Some people just aren't marketable. You know what I mean?
I mean that's a true statement.
Yeah, you put a microphone in front of him and it's just dog water coming out of his mouth. You know what I mean? Like, it's like Carmelo Anthony. Take it to another sport. Early in his career, he could barely talk. You know what I'm saying? His first commercial, he had like one line, and it sounded terrible. He wasn't marketable early on in his career. Thank God he got it together. But some people just aren't marketable. Just like the gentleman you just mentioned, the world record holder in the discus or shot put.
He don't need to talk in a commercial. You just need to put him in a commercial.
My point.
You don't need to talk. Some things you need to talk. He doesn't need to. Like Sid. Sid is not on social media herself.
She's not. She's not
herself. It's her brands that she's allowing to market her. So she's not doing it herself. But again, has she not had her name on a track, then these brands want to pick that up. Big Boy, the shot putter, if he online posting every day, if he was going outside to get the chickens from the hen, it didn't matter. But he's still posting and people see him, and the brands now will take him and put a commercial where he doesn't have to talk. Now he's in the chicken pen in the sneakers that they need him to be in, because now he's tossing chickens to the pit, whatever it is.
Yeah,
make sense.
His like Nike is not pushing him like they should, and I'm gonna keep going back to USATF because I believe that they are going to be the overall governing body of track and field here in the United States. You gotta recognize who you have here, and you may have to come out of pocket. Okay, cool. You'll make your money back, but invest in these athletes. Ryan Krauser is a guy that I'm gonna consistently talk about because I've never really seen that many people that's that dominant where they can go out. Yeah. They can go out and just, I'm gonna go throw 75 feet. Yeah, I'm gonna throw 75 feet real quick. On
a bad day, no warm
with limited training.
Off the couch.
My shoulder hurts a little bit too, by the way. Like, come on, like that's greatness right there. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, off the couch. Yeah, literally. That's how it feels. Because he's not out there. That's the thing. He's not one of those athletes that they're pushing down your throat as far as like he's at every meet. You know what I'm saying? But the meet that he's at, he's busting ass every time. And literally off the couch. Like, yeah, I got up. I'm going to do this meet. Then he's going to go back in the couch.
I literally just got off the couch and threw a world record. Just want to let y'all know, yeah. Hey, no big deal. No big deal.
Hey, promote yourself. Go on social media and promote yourself. Yeah, hey, post it.
That's
all these brands on social media, these regular people sit in their video, in the background, posting every day. Yeah, so I'm going to eat my salad today. And eventually, you'll be like, yo, you know that girl on social media that's talking about her salad? She's not talking about shit else. But somebody else, Dole, the salad brand, is going to be like, hey, girl, you got all these views of just sitting in front of this white wall, eating your salad. Now, we're going to pay you to do this. But you got to talk out for yourself and not even talk. You can sit there. You just have to promote yourself. Like, and that is a task. That is a job. It is. It's very stressful. It's very hard. It's not an easy thing to do. But you got to want to do it. You got to want to do it. And especially if you're in a sport, you're an athlete and you busting ass, that shit is easy. It's like an easy door to just throw yourself through.
Facts. Let's see. So we got, I don't think there's really any more than Noah, Emmanuel. Nothing else that's really kind of jumps out there. I mean, that biggest one was the FemK in Sydney one. I mean, everybody online has been talking about that.
Mm.
But
which I heard about the recent NCAA ban on the Iowa State cross country team.
I didn't read about that. What happened?
They got caught using EPOs or something like that. Mind you, Iowa was like one of the top cross country teams.
That's going to trickle down to more teams, probably.
Yeah, 100%.
I think so. Or she just got her ban too. Ruth Kaplan got.
Oh, I did read. I read
she
that.
She just got her ban. She just got her ban. I think it's like 3 years, but it's from 2025. So her world record from 2024 is still valid. So it's like, all right, cool. 3 years, I'm gonna sit down. By the time she's gonna be off a bit suspension before the Olympics.
Was that an actual doping violation, or was it a whereabout?
No, it was actually they did it as of October. As of 2025. That was her new ruling. And that one just came out.
I'm still hurting off of Arian jump. You know, he killed me with that, man. I knew that oxtail thing was a little too far fetched, but
too good to be true.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to come back. And that man ran 1949.
Yeah,
he was like a teenager.
He was like 19, 18 years old.
He was a baby.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. Like people like that, I always compare it to like a Justin Gatlin, where even though Justin Gatlin came back, he served his time, he came back. It was still hard to kind of back him 100% because of the violation that he already had. And some of these athletes,
it's like you being a felon.
Yeah,
you got to disclose.
Yeah, every track meet he went to in Europe, they booed him. Every single time. And also,
in the 5-second spiel of the commentators, they'll say that back from a doping violation. That's his resume now.
Yeah.
Even when he won his world championship over Usain Bolt.
Yeah, they hated that. Yeah,
booed the dog shit out of him at the starting line, and when he finished, when they found out that he won, obviously it was like a photo finish. They found out he won, booed the shit out of him. But what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds the haters, man. Yeah, I did my time. I served my time. I did what I did, but I'm back. I'm clean, allegedly. And yeah, I took care of business.
So
I didn't know.
You're officiating now. How did you get into that? I'm kind of curious about. I've always kind of wanted to do it, but I never.
I'm gonna be honest. Like you should do it. You should absolutely do it.
What got you into it though?
So after I ran a marathon, after I did all of that, I still wanted to be in the track world. Did I want to compete? No. But I wanted to be around. I wanted to be down still. Like I missed it. So I went to a couple track meets because I still know people. I still know people that was, around and stuff like that. Especially being in New York, like the same coaches are around, everybody is pretty much the same. I'm sure it's the same in Maryland too. Like the same coaches, the same people, whatever. So I just went and talked to one of them officials and I'm like, yeah, I want to be an official. I signed up. So different associations require different things in New York, Long Island. You have to do a class. For Queens, like New York City, you have to do a test. And you have to do a test every year. You have to get certified. But also within the certification, there's like tiers of always to get to master level official. Like that's the highest level of official you could be. It's apprentice, association, national, and master. Those are the 4 levels. And then they're supposed to be 2 years after each level, to be able to move up. If you don't have all the criteria, whether you have national meets, high school meets, college meets, whatever it is, whatever USATF requires you to be. But every discipline has a different requirement, whether that's horizontal, high jump, throws, and throws are broken down into shots, hammer. There's pole vault. There's, the regular marshals. There's all the different things are it. If you want to do it, I would absolutely say just to go to USATF. Because that's where it is. You have to buy a membership for them. And then you can find your association within your county or wherever you live at. So Maryland, I'm sure they have different counties for different places and different things. Like New York, it's pretty much like New York City. And then there's like cities after that. So like there's different counties after that. New York City is the 5 boroughs. So it's like a bigger association. But depending on where you're at, I'm assuming it's the same type of thing. But there's also USATF and also AAU. So you should do both because people are showing up to USATF meets. They go in the AAU meets. So, I'm just saying so that you're good across the board because the pay is different, both agencies and both associations, depending on the meet, whether it's a national meet. selection is different. It's all politics in it, but you can do regular like PSAL. I'm sure y'all have PAL. Same thing in Maryland. We call it PSAL, which is the public school athletic league. And that's like once a week. You got to meet whether your subsidy, whatever your borough is. So whether you're Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Staten Island, in the Bronx. I'm Queens, so I do a lot of the Queens meets, all of the Queens schools like that. But on the weekends, it's USATF or NCAA. I do a lot of college meets. I'm at St. John. I try to do a lot of the local things, but I've done swag, like swag conference championships. If they call, I'm going to answer. If they pay good,
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I'm like on front in my conferences, the swag conference, that might have been the best fun I've ever had. That like I was at Southern in May that just passed. Like it was lit. Like the athletes, they cared about each other. That association, they cared about their athletes. You know what I mean? Like they were providing them meals and drinks and food, like things that, you know, you need to be able to get through and be competitive at a high level. Their association adhered to that. I'm not sure. The other associations, I haven't really worked with them, but most of the time, if your school don't bring what you need, you on your own. The coach don't bring tape. Your coach don't bring water. Figure it out.
Yeah.
It sound like Morgan when we was back there, back in the day. We was running.
Exactly. It's a little different now.
One
But
pair of shoes, one pair of spikes for the whole year. But I ain't gonna go on that topic
honestly,
right
it's
now.
the same thing. But you know, now the kids got NIH deals now, so they got bread, and I think that's really good for them because they should have access to money. Us three, we had no access to money, and we was
And
starving.
we had
It didn't need
$100
to
per
be.
diem.
Now we only got $40 off. Go ahead.
You know,
And we're stopped at McDonald's, and they bought all the meals for us, so we actually never got the money in our hand.
Herb, wasn't that something you wanted to touch? That's something you wanted to touch on, like performing, running at a HBCU.
We can end with this. I was gonna since we all end up going to Morgan State again at some point or whatever. I kind of wanted to just touch just briefly because we'll end this in a few. Like the experience of, and I guess each of you can kind of have your own take on it, but the experience of participating in an HBCU in track and field and how that's different from maybe going somewhere else. Because I always told people how different it was, you know, like the feel was different. And I think if you go to like a MEAC championship or a SWAC championship in track and field, you'll notice that the vibe is, and the aura is completely different than going to like the ACC or the Big Ten or something like that. So
yes.
So to you guys, what was something that kind of stuck out or one of your experiences that kind of showed the difference of a HBCU in terms of track and field?
I mean, I think with me personally, well, it may sound cliche. I'm so glad that I went to Morgan State.
I am too. Don't get me wrong. I am too.
I mean, they call it the national treasure for a reason. You know, when it's one thing that stuck out with me. It's prior to me actually like arriving to Morgan State's campus. When I was in my guidance counselor's office, going over options and, you know, seeing my offers that I had and, you know, just, you know, going through all the letters and stuff. My guidance counselor was actually a former athlete. And the one thing he said that stuck out was you're going to be a student, but also going to be an athlete. You know what I'm saying? You know, student athlete. You're going to meet a lot of people, but your teammates are going to be like your best friends. And then some of them are actually y'all going to be friends, you know, lifelong friends. Y'all going to like be like tight for the rest of your life. I didn't understand what the hell he was talking about because I'm like, you know, I'm from around the way. Like, these are my boys right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you talk about. And here we are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got my Trackfellaz. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understood what he meant when I got there.
Yeah.
Would that have been different if I went to like a PWI? I don't know. But, you know, I appreciate and I love the fact that, you know what I'm saying, I got a brotherhood when I arrived to Morgan State. But as far as like the overall, it's more like a family vibe. You know what I mean? Every practice felt like a cookout. You know what I'm saying? Warming up, running that mile in the opposite direction in lane 8.
Bus rides.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the famous bus rides. Like, oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? I'm sounding like Coach Si. The camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? I don't take none of that for granted, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't. I can butt it up right there. I would not change it. My decision for anything because it was fulfilling, and like I said, I got lifelong friendships based off that one decision.
Well, for me, I can agree the same. I went to a PWI my freshman year of college, and it was homecoming game at my PWI that I realized that I was in the wrong place.
Yeah.
My PWI played Morgan State, and I knew that that's where I needed to be. And I was there less than a year later. Running at Morgan State had my ex-husband, my daughters. These things are like a real life. Like I would not have my daughters had I not gone to Morgan State, had I not met my ex-husband at the time, had we not have kids. He was on the track team as well. So I think that adds into running at HBCU. Yes, have lifelong friends, you have lifelong experiences. And the struggle that we went through together was lifelong. Like we struggled together. It was
Together.
something that we did together. It was nobody that was bigger up and better than someone else. We all was the bottom of the barrel trying to figure it out as Save-A-Lot with the bag and getting it together. Like it was a community within ourselves. I think the hardship of it forced us to become more of a community. I remember older heads bringing their kids to the school when their kid wasn't supposed to be there. We watching their kid. It was a community. Like it was doing hair. This one got this skill. This one got this skill. Like it became, you spend so much time with these people that they become
Family.
a part of you. You can't think about Morgan State and not think about these people, whether they still in contact with you or not. So for that, I'm forever grateful. Whether they're in contact with you now, whether you talk to them, whether they live and die, whatever it is, you still have those core memories. And I feel like that made me who I am. And I'm so appreciative of Morgan State. I'm so appreciative of the people that I met, the experiences, whether they were good or bad on the track, whether or not, like, I think being an athlete puts you in a space where you had just a little bit more help than these regular niggas down here. Like you just had a little bit more because it was a struggle. Like HBCU experience is a struggle and everybody knows what that is. Our resources are limited. But I'm appreciative of the track team that my resources were a little bit more. You know what I mean? So like those things matter. Like it matters. And it was the best decision I ever made. And I made it later on knowing I was somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I never regret myself. Did I go back to the PWI to visit? Absolutely. Have good barbecues? Have good homecoming? Absolutely. But my home is where it is. And when you know where you're supposed to be, it literally pulls you there. Like the track team wasn't even what pulled me to Morgan. It was the band and the blackness and everything that came from it just made me who I am today. And I'm just so appreciative of it.
So for me, it was two things. Number one, the people that I met, it was different. I didn't get a chance or opportunity to go to another school, and I'm glad I didn't. But I'll never forget. I got to Morgan in 2002, and I met Jose Jones.
Damn you old.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
I was just getting in that.
I met a nice group of guys, right? Jose Jones and Adam and Channing and James White, and met all those guys. And then the following year, Daryl comes and Brian comes to the school. And literally from the minute that we all left that school until now, Leroy Herman, we have been virtually talking to each other every single day. I just feel like going to another school, you don't really get that type of feel because we all kind of came from different places, but our backgrounds is kind of similar. We had something in common. And we were able to kind of keep this friendship, this brotherhood. I mean, we've been to each other's weddings. We've been to birthday parties together. I mean, we've celebrated people's kids, everything. And we've done that for the past 20 something years. So I always appreciate that part of being a part of an HBCU. And the second part, and we all agree to this, Morgan State University, again, which is a HBCU, part of the MEAC, which is the Mid-Eastern Atlantic Conference. The banquets are completely different than anybody in the country. It is a fashion show. That's number one, right? You guys remember when we used to go to these banquets, these athletic banquets, and Hampton would come in late, right? They would walk in late on purpose, wearing all white. People were like, everybody embraced that different, that feel, it was just an athletic banquet. For some schools, it's just, you get there, you dress nice, you eat, you might pick up some awards or something like that, whatever, or you introduce the teams. For the MEAC, no, it was a fashion show. It was a place where you met other people, you engaged in conversation with people. I mean, it was like a huge, you use the word cookout. It was like a big cookout, and we all just mingled, even though we were all rivals. For that limited time, everybody were friends. And then after that, we would compete against each other and race and try to beat each other and stuff. But during that banquet, we were all, just in a common kind of group, and that was track and field and stuff. So
the banquet was good though. You got to see people outside of the track. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you got to see them with their regular clothes on. You got to see them interact with people. And I think even more so for me, my personal experience with the banquet, like that's when my own teammates found out that I was smart, that I was on the dean's list every year. Like, because those were displayed. These were things that even in your own community, once you got to these banquets, they were displaying you. They was letting people know, like, we got all these niggas that's smart on the team. And that was like so good. Like, your team, your school would just show you, they would big you up. Like the banquets were amazing. It was not saying everybody was successful on the track. Everybody was successful here. We were beautiful. We were black. We were well dressed. We were educated, and we was in the same space. And it smelled like nothing but shea butter and excellence. Loved it. Like it was just great. Loved it here. Like I love it here.
And we did take like some iconic pictures that still live to this day.
Man,
at every banquet.
Yeah, I remember every banquet like it was yesterday, man. That was crazy, man. But
it was great though.
Yeah, it was. Those are moments that you don't forget and stuff. And Shalèe hit it right on the nose where we were, especially back then, like we were underdogs. And for me, people even talk now and they say, oh man, you could have gone anywhere you wanted to after high school. And, that was true. But I feel like I, especially like, on the team that I had, I remember we went, one time we went like 309, right? That was at like IC4A track meets. Anytime you go sub 310, right? That's a good accomplishment, whatever. But, for some, it's like, okay, that was really nothing, right? But for me, watching my team grow from the beginning until that last track meet, I cherish that more than anything. Like you go on to another, if I would have gone to LSU, there was other guys that was running 45s and 40s. That's expected. But to be with a group of guys that kind of, we came from the dirt and then, all the training and everything. And we finally got to where we wanted to be at. It doesn't matter if it was that fast or not. It was, that was the goal. And, we reached our goal after months and months of training and stuff. And I think I value that more than if I was gone to, Texas A&M or something. I would love to have gone to a team to win a national championship, but I felt like I value being with Morgan State more because we actually work for it. And, and I'm not talking about nobody else, whatever. I'm just talking about my experience, man. And those guys I was with, I love those guys to death, man. And we everything we accomplished, we earned it. And I can say
Out
that.
the mud.
Yeah, I can say that. Yeah.
And I know you're trying to pack it up, but I think that's my last thing I'm gonna say on this topic. Just imagine, like you said, made me think. I wanted to go to like one or two schools. I wanted to go to Tennessee or Baylor. And I got those letters in the mail. I mean, for one or two reasons, I just wasn't able to go. But they have like awesome facilities. Y'all remember the facilities we had back then?
Mm-hmm.
When inclement weather, where were we running for practice?
In the gym.
On a hardwood floor. Like the weight room at that time, maybe not the best. Just, the facilities just, it humbled you. It built character. You know what I'm saying? To your point, Herb, even though cracking 310 to go to like 309, go sub 310, to see that what we had, to work with, like to get to where we were as far as like, the goals that we achieved as a team, like it you can appreciate that. as to opposed to where, like, you know what I'm saying, you go to like a LSU or Baylor or Tennessee where you got, 400-meter indoor tracks heated, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
heated indoor facilities and, weight rooms are, big as a apartment complex, top tier, trainers and like everything, overall, we didn't have that. Not saying that like, every HBCU doesn't have that, but excuse me, like, not saying that every HBCU has like, sub par like, facilities and whatnot, but that
The
stuff builds
resources
character.
are limited. The
Yeah,
resources
yeah, yeah,
are
yeah,
limited.
Absolutely.
That's just
yeah,
what it is. They are.
yeah. And like I said, like those things kind of humble you. It builds character, and you like you cherish that. You know what I mean? And like it kind of like molds you to the individual that you're gonna be. Like when you hit that finish line, whether it's graduation or a promotion or whatever it is, like further on in life and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So that's another take that I take away from like going to a HBCU. Like it definitely builds character and like molds you into like who you actually going to be in the future.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
the fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even with that, the relationships that you have, like, they're just like, I don't know. I don't know if you guys were around for Coach Jones, but Coach
Ralph,
Jones
right?
was around so his son was at SWAC championship and I officiated him in the triple jump.
Oh, that's crazy.
Crazy. I have a picture with him and everything. Like,
Yeah.
I called him like, hi. I said, I know you. Like, cause I seen his name on the paper. I was the head official for the jumps. He's like, I said, Andre Jones. I said, I know you. He's like, no, you don't. I said, I know you when you used to live in that house with that scruffy ass dog and your two sisters and your daddy. He's like, oh, you really know me.
Oh, that's
Called his
crazy.
father. I said, call your daddy right now. Called his father on FaceTime. I said, hello, this your son? Like, this is my athlete. It was like the craziest thing ever just to still be in the world. Like your coach's son that you used to babysit while you was in college, try to get some extra money, is now you're officiating them and they're in college. That had me on a whirlwind. I ain't going front this summer. I was just
That's
like,
a
I'm
full
old.
circle moment right there.
It was very like wow, like the relationships that you make and the people that you meet, like they matter, especially if they were significant to you. Like 20 years later, I'm here with your son. Tell him on the side, like, yo, bro, step back 3 steps. Like again, I'm just saying, like, come on, like, and he's at Alabama A&M. You know what I mean? Like he's getting busy, and I'm like, you was this big. I even known you from when I was a baby, and it's just like the track world, the HBCU world, like it is really a community. Like you really hold these relationships. Our coaches come to the track meet that I work at the Armory. I see them every season. I see them indoor season. Coach Jones, Janice, I see them. We still wrap it up. Ha! Make sure y'all stay in the coach's back. I don't care. Like that's me, but I'm just saying, like it's so good to value the people that you met and that you had, and I just love it. I love life. I love Black people. I love us.
Yeah, I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity.
100%.
Being in my 40s now, sometimes I look back and like, man, do I regret that? But you know what? Every decision that I made, I don't regret. That decision to go to Morgan State University was one of the best decisions I made. And frankly, it's because of the people I met, and we wouldn't even be on this platform now if it wasn't for the relationship that we made in college. And again, I keep telling people this all the time. I mean, we have been talking almost every single day for 20 years. And that's just a testament of how strong the relationships are in HBCUs specifically and stuff. So,
make me cry, man.
It's a good thing, man. But, anyways, we're going to wrap this up. We want to thank Shalèe for coming on here. Hopefully she does not make this her only appearance because
I'm here. Listen, I'm here. If it's New York related, I'm here because I got the greatest indoor track in my backyard here at the Armory. I'm just saying. So if it's Armory related, I got you.
That's debatable, but all right.
First of all, we have Armory and Ocean Breeze. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. We ain't even go outside. We inside. Because outside we can go to Icon. You just was loafing over missing out on the Icon meet. Don't do that.
We can talk about that another time.
Hey, look, we definitely will. But as we always say, every race has a story and every runner has a journey. Thanks for watching.